You think you hate it now, but wait till you drive it.
The Kibbe and Friends Show.
What it is, bro?
Featuring Rob Kibbe.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Justin Corndog Cornett.
New guy's in the corner puking his guts out.
And show producer Bernie McPartland.
This is the DJ 3000, and it has 3 distinct varieties of inane chatter.
Talking cars.
Do you feel this vehicle is safe for highway travel?
Yes, I do.
Diving deep on the topics that matter most.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this.
And totally redeem yourself.
And the Dukes of Hazzard. Available in iTunes, Stitcher, and whatever else it is you listen on.
Turn up the volume.
The Kibbe and Friends Show.
Kibbe and Friends Show, episode number 113. Available in iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. Fellas, do I have an idea for you? I am moving. Next week, I am moving. Would you guys like to do the Kibbe and Friends Show without me?
I don't know how we would, but...
Don't, Bernie. We do that now. I know that. Not a joke. You want to try it without me? Buy me a little time?
We feel guilty as a consensus. We love you. We want to be with you as often as possible. So I don't know. We may have to vote on this. We may have to let the audience vote on this. Should we do a Kibbe and Friends show without Kibbe? It's kind of like Gladys Knight and the Pips without Gladys. It's just the Pips on stage.
What are the bands like that go out with like one of the original members of like an 8-piece band, and it's like the second guitar player?
Typically, they call that copyright infringement because they don't have the permission from the rest of the band to do it.
Let me ask this. How well did the Jackson 5 do without Michael? Not too good?
I don't know. I saw a CCR tribute band in Las Vegas once, and it turned out the lead singer was related to, who was the lead singer of CCR?
That would be John Fogerty.
It was like John Fogerty's nephew. And he sounded like him. He truly did. But one of the members of the band in this tribute band was an actual member of CCR, but it was like the second guitar. He stood in the back and just played.
That's the same way it was with Leonard Skinner. Majority of everybody died on the plane crash, and you had one guy left, basically. And he's recently passed away, so.
Oh. Well, I am moving, and it has become more and more real that I'm moving. Will you do this show without me?
Let's put it to a vote. Let's let the masses decide.
Bernie's a pro radioman, and Corndog, I mean, he carries it anyway, right? So
Absolutely.
I am just here to direct traffic. I don't do much. So if you guys would like to entertain this, you let me know. Otherwise, we'll find a way to sandwich it in. Well, let me know what you think. I have been, so I am a bit of a pack rat when it comes to things that still have a use. So I actually felt bad doing it. I threw away like 10 different half-full containers of oil, like 5W30, 10W30, some straight oil, some synthetic, that I have just bought over the last 15 years for one reason or another. It had a little bit in it, and it was still good. And I use them in mowers and snow blowers. I mean, I just was raised in a house that didn't throw things away that weren't broken or still had a use or could be patched. But today when I came here, like, I've been loading the dumpsters here in the office park pretty much every time I come, and my wife is having me throw stuff away that there's nothing wrong with. Like, she just doesn't want it anymore. I can't believe it. But yeah, I have cleaned out a ton of old oil. I kept one of everything good, like gear oil and some synchro mesh fluid, all sorts of stuff like that. But I've kind of got things whittled down. I'm looking forward to actually having maybe some real workbenches in our new garage. It will have room for that. I've never even had my own tool chest, ever. I've always kind of made do sticking stuff around. So I'm excited for that, but this move is getting real, and it's getting real ugly, frankly. I'm not ready. And next week is coming whether I like it or not.
Well, I think you're well-founded in throwing away the oil and stuff. I went through that recently. Just about 3 months ago, I did exactly the same thing. I don't have a lot of room to store that, and it was just getting out of hand. Half a quart here, third of a quart there, just like you, exact same. I consolidated what I could, and I poured the rest of it in a container and went down to the recycle center. So in that vein, I don't feel like I'm throwing anything away. I'm just passing it on so it can have a new life. That's where it was going to go anyway. And after all the bottles were condensed and I got everything, packed away and recycled, I think probably I only recycled probably 4 quarts when it was all said and done. And that was about 6 or 7 containers worth. And now I love my new shelf space that I have back now so I can, keep usable stuff there. So I think you're right in line with that. I don't think you'll miss it. What you will miss is the bent wrenches and the other things that you hold on to for special things, those once-in-a-lifetime use tools that you're going to, when's the last time I used this? And you're going to toss it, and then next weekend you're going to need it, that kind of thing. But
I don't throw tools away. I draw the line. A one-time use, well, I might need it one more time. That I will not do that. Laura's like that all the time. Like, I try to give her that example, like, stop throwing stuff out. And she says, I haven't used this in 10 years. But it's a tool. You're only supposed to use it like twice in your life. That's the point.
But when you need it, it's there.
She also keeps our house very clean and tidy, and it's a nice place to live. So I get that side of it as well.
She'd hate to see my shop then.
It wouldn't be for her. I've been to your shop. Well, okay, so we have kind of an off-kilter show today. We're going to do a couple of car updates. I do have a Kibbe Lee update. Kibbe Lee is home, back in Iowa, rolling.
Major update.
Major update there. And you, Corndog, have a major update. We won't tell right now, but that's coming at the end. But you have a major vehicle update, which will be quite fun. So we have some news stuff, a little bit of game shows. This is called Mailing It In. It's ironic that our sponsor today is Stamps.com when it comes to mail. So we'll chat about that later as well. I'd like to recognize some new patrons and Patreon. What's the right way to say that? Whatever.
Patroners.
Mr. Ken Brumley. We get notifications if people are existing members and raise their level or new, so we kind of get notifications no matter what. But Ken Brumley stepped it up, went to the $10 level. So way to go, Ken. And then we have Mr. Andrew. He didn't list his last name. So Andrew, you know who you are, but your last name starts with S. And I do have it here. I just won't say it unless you want me to. But Andrew S. and Taylor Papworth have both joined just since our last show. And that's awesome. And that is just one of the things that keeps us rolling and keeps us rolling well. We will have a special guest in this month's June Patreon show, who is our sponsor for this month's Patreon show. Jerry David, your control arms went out. We use Stamps.com to mail it. You now are the fine owner of Mike Finnegan's upper control arms from his B-Body K member. Enjoy. If you see him out on the power tour, show him you got him. He'd love it. I think that'd be great. And then Cody Young, who I did mention in the last show. Cody has a shop in Texas, in Dallas area, I believe. He apparently flies different places to work on people's car, and he had offered to do the fuel injection on my car. I really want to do it so bad myself. Cody, might change my mind. My life is quickly flushing down the drain of availability. I am realizing that if I don't get stuff done when I'm at somebody else's shop, it just don't seem to get done. So
hook a brother up.
Man, I can't believe I'm not going to get to do that, but at least I could work with him. So I have so much to tell you guys about the trip down to Warren Customs. I kind of want to save all that for the end. It was pretty amazing. It was a great father-son trip as well. But I think what needs to happen now is a public service announcement. As you guys know, this is not just a show for Dukes of Hazzard fans or even car fans. This is a place where people can come once a week to get the news they need to know on the country. And we brought in our professional radioman, Bernie. Do you have the Bernie on the News segment? Bernie around the world. What do you have for us today?
Hey, you know what? We do have some news segments. No matter what's going on, there's always something going on. No matter who you are, you're always somebody, and we acknowledge that. So this is a segment where we want to make sure that the people who make the news get in the news, and the stories that maybe 5 or 6 people actually care about, we will cover. So, shall we? I don't know who it is who has the job of this day in history who gets to gather all that stuff. And this one's kind of significant. This day, if you didn't know, in 1752, Benjamin Franklin flies a kite during a thunderstorm, which is odd enough in itself. What else did he have to do? Flies a kite in a thunderstorm and collects ambient electrical charges in a jar. And here we are today, able to hook up our devices, charge our phones on the road, and do all sorts of things with that fun stuff called electricity. I never knew. You always see the picture of him with a key dangling down, and then the lightning lights up the key. Well, that's not actually what happened. He had a device that he was using called a Leyden jar, Leyden, and that was a storage device that kind of collected the electricity. I guess it was a big capacitor-like device in the day. I don't know. This still throws me. It's 1.21 gigawatts, and it's stored in a jar now. So I'm still kind of unclear.
What did he do with it? Did he run down and buy an iPhone and charge it or something? Or what would you do with a jar of electricity?
I think he went straight to a party and used it as kind of like a whoopee cushion, I think. It was a big hit.
I'm sure.
Hey guys, look what I have.
Pull my finger. So just one of those fun things in history today may or may not have relevance. Here's something that might be relevant. I think we did this about a year ago, and they have a new list out. It's the people who determine what are the most popular cars to be stolen. And there were some surprises on the list, at least for me. Any ideas what might be the most stolen car in America, guys?
It's going to either be a Honda Accord or a Toyota Camry.
How about an F-150?
Yes.
You're both right. You're both pretty close. Number one, Honda Accord, 52,000 stolen. Honda Civic, 49,000. I guess that's why they give away so many of those on The Price is Right. You've got to replenish the supply. So
It's a new car!
Otherwise, it'll get stolen in the parking lot.
It will get stolen. Number three, the Ford pickup full size. And then number four, the Chevy full size pickup. About 28,000 of those stolen at the time of the survey. What you might not have known that was on that list, did you guys read this? Are you following the Hot Rod Power Tour? On the first night of the tour,
about this today.
Yeah, several cars stolen the first night. 83 Malibu wagon, a 90s short bed pickup truck, very nice. And there was a Chevy wagon, kind of like the one Rutledge Wood used to have. The mom.
It was a 92 Caprice.
Yeah, so.
Like stolen for real or a hilarious roadkill stunt?
No, stolen.
Like legit stolen. Like, holy crap, that sucks, stolen. That's awful.
Come out of the hotel room and I need a taxi.
There's a guy that I follow on Instagram, S10 Rat. His name is Ben. He has a late 80s or mid to late 80s Bonneville wagon, drag car. And they tried to steal it. They got into his key cylinder, and then they busted the column all up. But for whatever reason, they couldn't get it. So at least he still has his car, but it was torn up. So
that sucks, man. People that steal cars suck. What a violated thing. As a total side note, now that I got my General Lee home, I'm either raising my insurance or I'm hiding that car, because there are some strange ducks following me home and driving by slow and staring at my kids, and like not in a that's a neat car kind of way, like I'm gonna come rob you later. That's the vibe I'm getting. I don't like it.
We certainly won't talk about it, which ones, but do you guys have precautions in place for your vehicles?
I do. Yes.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
I won't go into detail, but a friend of mine, I got in his 69 Charger and it would not crank until he showed me how to crank it. And I thought, that is awesome. Pretty good idea.
My dad used a lamp switch in my 64 Chevelle when I put the second engine in it. I thought that was the coolest trick ever. There was literally a lamp switch that like a desk lamp hidden up under the dash that would pull the ground off of the MSD box. It was pretty nice.
Didn't look out of place at all, did it?
You didn't even know where it was. There was like a mangled spaghetti mess of wire up there, and I just knew where it was, but you couldn't see it.
Okay.
Have you guys had cars taken before?
No.
Never had a car stolen. Had some buddies try to move one, but I did steal my friend's car.
Not sure if that counts or not. I don't.
It was a prank. It wasn't. It really ruined his day, but it was at the time. It was quite funny.
I've had one broken into and had a radio stolen out of it. But that's a bad gut feeling too. The thing was, it was $100 radio. I mean, it was like a cheap radio. I just wanted a CD player in this car, and it was when I was in college, and I'm walking through the parking lot, and I just see this. It's like a little Bronco 2 parked next to it. You know, as I look under it, I could see the glass, and I thought, oh, that sucks for him. Someone busted out his window, and I get over there, and it's my window.
Wow, that's the worst.
And the thing is, they stole my $100 CD player. And they left at the time, it was like $500 digital camera. When they first came out, it was sitting in the back floorboard. They left it, but they took the $100 CD player.
Well, it is a violating feeling. It is. I'm the victim of twice having my pickups stolen. First in 65 Ford that I had, 352, good truck, could light them up. And then later on, it was my 84 Chevy Square Body, which was pristine. I love that truck.
Oh, no.
Saw it drive away. Guy took it in a thunderstorm. I was at work and looked out the window and saw the door open and saw my, what's that thing they used to call those steering wheel locks? The club thing.
Club.
Just had it handily in his hand. You know, he's a pretty big guy. I figure he just sawed the steering wheel in half and then just kind of started it up and away it went. So my thoughts on theft prevention are a little more active, maybe. So
more shooting.
Yeah. Okay, moving on in our news, our friend Nathan Warren of Warren Customs is a contributor to this, and so in effect, he was right in his views per this story. Quote, will you kindly, to set the record straight once and for all, inform us if the FBI has examined hair which might be that of Bigfoot? When this took place, if it did take place, what the results of the analysis were, said Peter Byrne, the director of the Bigfoot Information Center. He wrote that in a letter to the FBI. Quoting again, please understand that our research here is serious. So I think Nathan is on to something with this Bigfoot thing here. Well, not to be outdone, the FBI did reply back, dated December 15th, 1976. Jay Cochran, Jr., Assistant Director to the FBI's Scientific and Technical Services Division, told him to send the sample that he had to the FBI labs in Washington. A scant 3 months later, the FBI reported the results of its test. They were real. There was a real hair sample. It was real skin, just not a Bigfoot. The FBI says the samples were from a deer.
Same thing.
Somebody sent in a hunk of something from an animal?
He had a hair sample and a little bitty skin sample of something he said was from Bigfoot.
Uh-huh.
You know the famous picture of the Bigfoot walking through the woods and kind of that strike a pose move, that Vogue, look where he's looking right at the camera.
Like a guy wearing a suit?
And so evidently this guy went out and took a sample off a log or something that he might have scraped his leg off of and took that and wanted the FBI once and for all to make a ruling. And by golly, they did.
It was a deer, huh?
We will form no opinions here. We just report the news. That's who we are.
I trust the government to get this right. Yes.
Your tax dollars paid for that, too.
I remember earmarking the money for that one. Absolutely. Yeah. I have this, and then I have something that I don't know if I want to cover or not, but we'll save that for last. Meantime, Dateline, Madrid, Iowa, the place where professionals practice their trade of rescue. No, not in the flood-soaked towns of the breadbasket. No. This update is from day 7 of a full-scale rescue where 370 souls have found hope and the promise of a new and better home. Lives not spared from a town, but from a single property in Polk County. The residents, putting it kindly, of Mr. Dennis Carlson were visited by police on what they call a civil matter, and then the discovery of a young yet numbered host of kitty cats. Mm-hmm. Most living, some not, but what was active was and still is the overwhelming odor of what you might expect from such a discovery. The Animal Rescue League is involved now and heading up the now week-old rescue as more cats now have appeared on night vision cameras. So they are still collecting them. The good news, adoptions are up for the felines. 82 have new homes as of this past weekend. And this reporter and these people who are entertaining you, think of just one thing. Guys, just think of all the new cat videos we're going to be seeing on YouTube so nearly shortly. I can't wait.
There were hundreds found?
Hundreds.
And I think also hundreds found deceased. This was like a crazy cat lady. This is not good.
Except he was a guy.
Crazy cat gang lady.
Interesting, the door was open to his residence when police got there, and the waft, I think, hit them several yards before they hit the front porch.
Oh, there's nothing worse than cat piss, right? I mean, it's a...
Yeah.
It's just... Oh, and it is spelled like Madrid. We use famous cities or states here and pronounce them incorrectly. So it's called Madrid. And we also have
corrected.
We also have another town called Nevada. Not a joke.
Say it again.
Madrid. Yeah.
When I lived over in Georgia, we talked about the Allman Brothers being in Macon, and I said I lived in Warner Robins. Well, the county, when we first moved there, I said Houston County. No, it's Houston County.
Houston?
Spelled the same way as Houston, but it's pronounced Houston County.
Oh, where you're from.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you for the update. Okay, here's the one I'm not so sure about. Promise you'll be my friends after I open this can of worms. But I didn't want to do it, but I'm going to do it in the interest of free information. I want to help get the word out. The tweet reads as follows. I wanna, W-A-N-N-A, I want to challenge Tom Cruise to a fight in the octagon. Tom, if you don't take this fight, you're scared, and you will never live it down. Who is willing to put on the fight? Signed, loves and kisses, Justin Bieber.
I thought you were going to say
I've been sitting on that clip for quite some time.
I was hoping you were going to say Richard Rawlings.
I was wishing that too.
It's the Biebs, man. He's a musical genius. Well,
no one can figure out what he's talking about. I don't think he knows.
Like the reason for the fight?
Yeah. Why is he calling out Tom Cruise, who easily, 30 years his senior, could do this with one arm tied behind his back, in my opinion.
It's working. It's even on our show.
Thanks to who?
I like to pull that clip.
So if you use that clip, I won't have to use the crickets.
Is that it for the news?
I hope so. I have no clue where to go with that. So,
who supplied it to you then, Bernie?
A national news source.
Oh, okay.
CNN.
Not one that I follow often, but
very reputable.
Well, they have 3 letters. Why wouldn't they be?
Here's the good news. This whole Tom Cruise reference means that we can now initiate our newest game show. This is Bernie versus Corndog. This is called Name the Tom Cruise Movie. I'm going to give you a little sample here. This is a Tom Cruise clip. I'm just going to put, this isn't a question, but this is the level of cool we're going for here. Okay, you ready? Mm-hmm. All right, here we go.
Where did you see this?
That's classified.
It's what?
It's classified. I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
Okay, both of you. What is that movie? I'm sure you know.
Top Gun.
Top Gun.
Top Gun. Okay, we are now ready to really enter this movie. I'll just kind of keep the bed of music going back here. Bernie, we'll start with you. Are you ready, Bernie?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Treble winch.
All airlines.
135.
All airlines have crashed at one time or another. That doesn't mean that they are not safe.
Qantas.
Qantas?
Qantas never crashed.
What is that one? Qantas.
I know it.
And you want specifically from me what?
You got to say the name of the movie.
I know it.
Oh, the Rain Man.
Yes.
Rain Man.
Perfect.
Wapner at 4. Wapner at 4.
Wapner at 4. Okay, Corndog, over to you here. Are you ready?
Yeah, I probably won't get it.
I'll bet you will.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
What do you got?
Firm.
Oh, no.
No, wait.
No.
Oh, wait.
You are thinking the right thing. You said the wrong thing.
I know it. Hang on. I'm terrible with movies.
Why couldn't I get that one?
Yeah, why couldn't I get Rain Man?
We got to pass to Bernie. If you don't have it, you got to say yes or no. You got it?
No.
Bernie, what is it?
A Few Good Men.
That's it.
All right, Bernie's up by 2. Don't worry, Corndog. I got one in my back pocket for you. You're going to like it. Okay. Bernie, back to you. This is your next one. Which Tom Cruise movie is this?
I'm dropping the hammer! No, you're not!
I'd like to see the whole thing. What is it?
Days of Thunder.
Bernie up by 3.
Rubbin's racing.
Rubbin is racing. Okay. Back to Corndog here. This is
I feel the need for speed.
I just really like that clip.
Back to Top Gun.
Back to Top Gun. Okay. Bing! We had to have Top Gun in here. Everybody knows that. Okay, so we're now at 3-1 here. So back to Bernie. Here we go.
Portia, there is no substitute.
Now that one's a little tricky. That's an early Tom Cruise performance.
Oh, I know it. I know when Rebecca De Mornay is in it.
Yes. Yes.
Easy Money. No. Steal it, Corndog. Steal it. Do it.
Corndog, you got it?
I'm terrible at this. I'm telling
it has
you.
something to do with difficult entrepreneurialism.
Yeah.
Risky.
I can even risky business.
There we go.
I had the visual of him sliding across the floor, and I couldn't think of the name of it.
Oh yeah, that's the right one. Okay, so should we get credit for that or not?
I won't take credit for that. No,
he
that wasn't
got
partial.
risky, so
we're still at 3-1. Okay, so back to Corndog. Are we? Is that right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, get ready for this one. Here we go.
Show me the money! Nigga, Lord, this black man! I love the black man! Show me the money! I love black people! I love black people! What you gonna do, Jerry? Show me the money!
You ever seen that one? Oh no! Are you kidding?
Oh.
You guys are killing me. You're doing it on purpose. That was the best clip I pulled so far.
I know it. It's where he's the sports agent.
Yeah.
Everybody's yelling at their phones and computers right now.
It's his name.
I got
Jerry Maguire.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Bing! That's a save. That's a save.
Good job.
So, yeah, we are at 3-2. Back to, is it Bernie's turn?
Bernie's turn.
Okay, Bernie. Are you ready?
Yeah, baby.
That one's a pole inside of a pole. What do you think? What were the words that he said there?
Said, yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. I'm looking at Corndog. Corndog, do you know?
I'm going to stab at Jack Reacher.
Mm-mm. You might think Mike Myers. This is a Saturday Night Live parody. Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Corndog, do you know what it is?
Austin Powers.
It is Austin Powers. Bing! It's the third Austin Powers, where the intro of Austin Powers is a movie about Austin Powers starring Tom Cruise as Austin Powers.
Oh. Is that the one with Goldfinger, or which one has Goldfinger?
Yeah, that's the gold member one, I think is
Gold member, Goldfinger. Yeah.
Okay, so we are now tied 3-3, and I only have one to go. So whoever gets this right, it goes to Corndog first, but whoever gets it right wins the movie. This one's a little longer. Anybody have any kids nearby? Might hear this? No? Okay. Bernie, you're gonna want to edit this one later. Here we go.
Now, I don't know what kind of pan-Pacific bullshit power play you're trying to pull here, but Asia Jack is my territory. So whatever you're thinking, you better think again. Otherwise, I'm going to have to head down there, and I will rain down on a godly f***ing firestorm upon you. You're going to have to call the f***ing United Nations and get a f***ing binding resolution to keep me from f***ing destroying you. I am talking scorched earth, motherfucker. I will massacre you. I will f*** you up. Did you find out who that was?
Believe it or not, that's a comedy. This is for the win. Corndog, do you know what that movie reference was? It is another parody movie. It's a parody movie.
He's going to have to take it. I don't know. I do not know.
I don't know either.
Okay, you're going to have to end in a tie. The movie is Tropic Thunder. Have you ever seen Tropic Thunder?
You've never seen it.
You are missing out. Robert Downey Jr., before Iron Man, I think. He is an actor in the movie playing a black man in blackface. I don't think you could make this today. It is a bizarrely funny movie, but it's a bunch of actors who are shooting like a Congo style action movie.
It's like Rambo or something.
But just like Three Amigos, they are thrust into a real situation and do not realize it until they're literally getting shot at and oh crap, this is real. It's Three Amigos, modern style. Ben Stiller's the main actor. Okay, this concludes our very first game of Name That Tom Cruise Movie. Good job, guys. Well, this seems like as good a time as any to roll to our sponsor. Now, Stamps.com is who I'm talking about. And Stamps.com is a vendor that is Corndog approved because they have a way to get deals. But let me start you off with why we need Stamps.com. It's because it helps you avoid bad situations, like this one here.
This is Kent Brockman live at the Springfield Post Office on Tax Day. It's literally the 11th hour, 10 p.m.
And tardy taxpayers are scrambling to mail the returns by midnight.
Sir, why did you wait until the last minute to pay your taxes?
Taxes? Isn't this the line from Metallica?
That's right. What would happen if on tax day you waited till midnight on April 15th and went to the post office, normally a place with quick and fast and easy service, and you found the whole town there? Well, you would be screwed. But with Stamps.com, you would have printed your postage at home and dropped that baby in the box and left. That's what you would have done. And as I now know, when you're shipping parts, that is a very nice way to do your thing at home because you get a free scale. Bernie, your thoughts?
Well, I think that you're absolutely right, Rob Kibbe. I believe that with the invention of Stamps.com, not only could you want to wait till the 11th hour, you could do it confidently because all the legwork was done. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about to the audience the benefits of Stamps.com, what they do. You want to know what they do?
I do.
Stamps.com brings all the amazing services of the U.S. Post Office right to your computer. No one rings your doorbell in the middle of the night with stuff for your computer, no parts. This is all done another way. Whether you're a small office sending invoices or an online seller shipping out products or even a warehouse like Corndog sending thousands of packages a day, Stamps.com can handle them all with ease. How do you do it, you ask? Well, it's easy. Simply use your computer to print official U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, for any package, for any class of mail, anywhere you want to send it. Now, once your mail is ready, just hand it to the mail carrier or drop it in the mailbox. Tell it goodbye because it's gone after that. It's that simple. With Stamps.com, you get 5 cents off every first-class stamp and up to 40% off priority mail. Not to mention, that's a fraction of the cost of those expensive postage meters. The votes are in. Stamps.com is a no-brainer.
Don't forget, when we went through the FAQs last time, you can tie this baby directly to your eBay account. That's pretty sweet. Corndog, you're a man of deals. Remember, you'd say whatever way you'd ship something is the cheapest way?
Oh, yeah.
Brother, you have found it.
And the less legwork, too.
Less legwork, more cheapness. That's exactly what I think of when I think of Corndog. What's the call to action there, Corndog?
Right now, our listeners can get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale without any long-term commitment. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in KAFS. That's Stamps.com. Enter KAFS.
Nice read. And yes, please do support them because they support us, and that keeps this show going. And it's easier to do this when you get paid. Let's be honest. It is a really slick service. The scale alone is worth the price of admission. Or we've used that for so many things. It's USB. Really.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. So let me give you guys my update, and then Corndog, you can give your update. So this last week, after 5 months, I went back to get my car back from Nathan Warren, and we have had such a ball doing this project together. And this was a project he worked on. His busiest time of year is the winter. His slowest time of year is the summer because he has a collision shop as well. Deer wrecks aplenty are what he handles in the winter. And he does a lot of sheriff's vehicles as well, and they're always hitting deer. But this last few months, he really put the heat on and really got the car done. And it's season 2. You look at it, and it's season 2. It's got his version of the push bar, which he made a jig of, and is now a product you can purchase. If you're after a season 2 push bar, you can get it. And it's hard to look at the car and have a favorite thing because it's all so favorite. Like the firewall cover. Man, I've taken it off about 3 times because I was tuning the transmission. The TCI box is still on the firewall, and that's how I get to it. And then I was trying to get things really dialed in because we put a new throttle position sensor on there. because while I was down there, we were going to get it out and rip it around and shoot some video. And wouldn't you know it, we had a 3-day allotment to get there. It took a full day to get there, 14-hour drive down, 14-hour drive back on day number 3. And on day number 2, by 10 a.m., we thought we were almost done, just buttoning things up. And by 10 p.m., I left. And we had just got done. God bless him. He would not give up. We just kept finding ways to finish it. But the reality is, I know that when I get this car out and about, if there's anything, I want to make sure that it highlights his work like really well. Like, I want people to be impressed. I got business cards. I have quite a bit of giveaways. I have like flashlights from him, swag to give out. But when people see this car, I want them to be impressed. The interior is not just awesome, it is bitchin'. It's the dark brown. Remember the Instagram photos we sent out with the A, B, and C color swatches? It's the dark one. It looks the part. And it's even darker in photos. That was the trick that you had pointed out, Corndog. You got to look at how this thing looks on camera more than probably with your naked eye, and then compare that to what you saw on TV, because that was on camera. And it photos, the orange is brighter in photos, and the brown interior is darker in photos. It looks like TV. In person, the orange is a little more yellow, I would say, and the interior is a little bit lighter. But dang, it looks good. The roll bar is in there, but the interior is totally finished out, and it's all brown. We took some liberties here and there. We made it nice brown, but he restored a lot of things in there. I mean, it's really just a 69 Charger interior with a roll bar and a CB. That's really what it is, but it's all brown. He blacked out the surround around all the gauges and made it look like if the Duke boys would have just got a Charger with brown interior and painted orange, that's what the goal was. So that's what it looks like inside. The seats are recovered. They're really nice. I mean, they're not perfect, but they're 69 Charger seats. Like when you turn a corner, you're hanging on the wheel to hang in there. But he painted the seatbelt bases and the seatbelt buckles because he's just OCD. He just wanted it to look nice. The back seat is really slick. Like, it's really, really nice. All 3 kids got back there with the roll bar in it. It wasn't really a big problem. Sliding in and out of the window is harder because I'm trying not to rip the car up, and I'm also trying to like work my way around the roll bar. Getting in is pretty easy. Getting out is kind of hard. I've got to practice up on that one. The trunk is totally finished out, and while we were there, he welded in the spare tire mount bracket and the jack handle bracket and the tire iron bracket. So the trunk's done. There's one thing left to do in the whole car, and that's put the trunk light in it, because this was a factory light equipment car. Like, he fixed all the lights in the interior. Oh, while we were there, for some magical reason, the interior lights quit. Don't know why, but they did. That was something we did on Wednesday, like 2 hours of chasing something, and it was just a bad connection on the fuse panel. But it took that long to find it.
You got to be careful, too, on those. When those interior lights are not working, that's kind of like they put them on the same circuit as your tail lights, as your brake lights and tail lights. And so that's kind of your warning. So if you get in and the interior lights aren't working, then more than likely your taillights aren't working. So that's kind of a heads up.
That was the confusing thing. Like, the dome lights worked fine. It was just the dash lights.
Oh, that's weird.
Nothing made sense. But then he took white paint and like hand lettered in the heater controls, like just so you can read like heat, defrost. What a nice touch. And then we were monkeying around with the mirror, like, what's this weird thing on here? And it was the day-night switch. He couldn't read it, and then we're like staring at Super Ghost, like, oh, it says day, and then he like pushed super hard, and the other side popped out and said night. Like, oh my God, that's so awesome! It switches. So he took some white paint and just blurred it all in there, and took a paper towel, went bleep, and it was perfect. Did the same thing on the brake release handle. I mean, it's just touch after touch. And the thing that we probably both got into and regretted was we decided to put the radio in it, and that was like a 4-hour debacle. And it's a nice radio. It's a retro sound radio. But I've never put a retro sound in before, and I probably put that thing together 3 times because it's totally modular. Like, you put the display on for your particular vehicle, in our case, a Dodge. But you'd get the same radio for a Chevy or a Ford, and you just put the face on it and the controls on it that match your vehicle. But it's in, and it's totally wired up. It even uses the power antenna off of the circuit that the radio even provides you for it. And it's Bluetooth equipped, and it's super great. Maybe the neatest thing was that his son, Will, hung around all day to play with my son, Dallas. they built a fort outside, like out of a tonneau cover and a brake drum and something else that we eventually like said, maybe don't do that. You're going to cleave yourself to death with that. But they had a great time. But when we got there, we were provided with something, and I'll show it to you right here. You're going to watch this. Just a second.
Awesome. Very nice.
I can hear nothing. I'm wearing a Boduc helmet. Can you see me? Does it look good?
Yeah.
Yep. Everybody's happy? Okay. I can't hear you. I got to take it back off. This is a motorcycle helmet. Open face motorcycle helmet. Painted orange. He did 2. One for him and one for me. The flag on it. Corndog, you're not OCD. Nathan is OCD. He took some blown up screenshots of like one of the episodes where Bo wears this, and it was season 2 or season 3, and put it to scale. And then he hand traced on his spray pattern, and then he painted it. And he made 2 of these. One for him, one for me. And it's so cool. I wish my head wasn't so damn big because I look like a moron wearing it, but I'm still going to wear it. I'm totally fine with that. That was a
nice touch.
It was a really neat experience. And in this week's Muscle Car Place, we had probably a 35-minute interview that we ran. And we did it after the full day of work. And we were both kind of bummed we didn't get to shoot a driving video. And it started raining and it never stopped. So we loaded the car up in the rain the next morning. And we'll take care of that drive-in at a future date. But just hats off to him. He's already had some people contact him about some work on their own cars. Not General Lee's. It doesn't need to be a General Lee, but that was the whole point, is to get the name out. So tip of the cap, Nathan. You are the best. People are really enjoying your work. I totally love it.
A lot of people are loving the shot of Kibbe Lee and the Chevelle in your garage. You know, home again, brothers in arms. That's a great shot, too. So thanks for posting. And thanks for posting all the other shots, too, that keep us up to date here, because that kind of let us be along that journey with you. So, I mean, congratulations, man. That's just awesome.
Yeah, I've kind of gone back like 5 months of photos, and it's already slowed down. Like, I miss him so much. Like, I miss the daily update, the interaction, the Bigfoot discussions. It's been really good. The only thing, as I look at the car, that I do still want to change at some point is to put the 14-inch wheels on it. And right now I can't. I can't run a 14-inch on the front because of the brakes that are on it. But at some point I may change that. But I monkeyed around with the new throttle position sensor on it. It actually drives pretty great. And I put a tune in it and then just kept making it a little more aggressive until you could just stab the throttle and just light them up. That was all I really wanted. I just want to torch the tires every time I leave the stoplight. I felt really good. So that is my update. That kind of concludes this chapter, at least of the cosmetic restoration, thanks to Nathan Warren of Warren Customs. But I'm not the only person with an update. Corndog, do you have a vehicle update? Are you now starting a project?
No, I already started this project, but
are you rebooting it?
I got like a supercharged boost on the project. Little ricer had to go by. Yeah, I've got a reboot on a current project. It's like a big boost, I guess you'd say. You know, I've got a 73 Plymouth Satellite, and plan on doing a Daisy Roadrunner with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good car. No engine, no trans. Interior's all there, but I mean, it needs 100% to be gone through, some rust repair. It's still a good project car. Well, last week I was cruising Facebook Marketplace and found a 74 Plymouth Satellite that was a daily driver up until about a month ago. And it is so much further along than the car that I currently have. And plus, if you remember me talking about it, Daisy's Roadrunner was actually a 74. And so there are a few little subtle differences here and there, but someone who really, really knew, they'd be able to spot out a 73 from a 4. And so this car popped up, and he had it for sale. And so I just asked, I was like, what's the best you take for it? Or would you be interested in a trade? And so he asked what I had for trade, and I told him, you know, I just recently got another Silverado crew cab, and so I still had my 99 model Silverado with 326,000 miles, but still runs and drives great, and it's a good truck. It's just not a crew cab. And I offered that up to him, and he says, "Sounds good. I'll take it." And so we traded straight up.
What a Corndog move. Here, take this truck I don't need.
Well, I told him, I said, "Look, I just got a crew cab." I said, "Otherwise, I would still be driving it, but I've got kids, and crew cab makes more sense." And so there's nothing wrong with it, really. I mean, it's got a few quirks here and there. I mean, it's 320,000 miles, 20-year-old truck. But, it still has some value because you can hop in it and pretty much go wherever you want to go. Mm-hmm. It's a nice straight body. I mean, looking at it, you wouldn't think it was 320-something thousand. He really kind of needed a truck. So we traded straight up, and he was tickled to death with the truck. And as soon as I pulled up and saw the car, I drove past it and looked at it. And right off the bat, I thought, yeah, this is a good car. This is much better than I was expecting. He sent me pictures of it and everything, but it's a lot better in person than it looked in his pictures.
Is it a Roadrunner or is it a satellite?
No, it's a satellite. It's a satellite Sebring 318 car. It's Y4. It's not really yellow. It's kind of a tannish color, kind of a little bit yellow gold. Tan interior, 318, 2-barrel, air conditioned, automatic on the column, bench seat. Basically, it's the same exact car that my 73 was. Mm-hmm. And so my 73, I was already collecting all the parts to convert it over to bucket seats, console, the rally dash. And so I've been collecting all these parts to convert it over. And so now I'm going to do the same thing, but do it on the 74. This car here, it's really solid. It has a little bit of rust in the lower quarter, but other than that, it's pretty solid. And like I said, he was driving it pretty much daily up until about a month ago, and he had an electrical issue. The Chrysler electrical system's kind of a pain at times, and he just started throwing parts at it. He didn't really properly diagnose it. He put a battery in it, then he put an alternator, then he put a voltage regulator, and he was jumping wires. He couldn't ever get it to work, and he just threw his hands up and said he needed to get rid of it. So anyway, Saturday I went down there, picked up the car, brought it back. Over the weekend, I kind of was undoing everything that he did because he was bypassing the dash harness, the ignition switch. He was bypassing stuff under the hood, and so I just undid everything that he did and put it back to the way it should be, stock. And so that's where I'm at right now. Right now, it kind of seems like it might be the starter, like the starter's not engaging, but I got it to where, it at least click. So right. I'm making progress. So
I've kind of forgotten her car. So how long was that car used into season 2?
Not even into season 2. Well, that particular car, the one I'm doing is the car that they used in Georgia. They just used one car in Georgia, and it was a 74 Roadrunner.
Yeah, that's right.
73 and 74 for Roadrunner, it was nothing more than just a trim package. You can get a 318 Roadrunner, just no performance whatsoever, but it had the hood and the stripes and all that, so it looked kind of racy. And so that particular car that they had was a 74 318 Roadrunner, and it was buckets and automatic on the floor and all that. So they used it through the first 5, not all 5 episodes, but they used it in Georgia, and then they loaded up all the General Lees on a transporter and shipped them over to California. And then behind the transporter, one of the crew members drove the Roadrunner from Georgia to California. Mm-hmm. And so when they got to California, they changed the tires on it. They changed a few things here and there. And so it was in for the next couple episodes. And then they went to the 71 body style. So really, it's just the first few episodes.
But this is a running, practically driving car. Like if you just get it to crank. So are you going to try to restore it as a running driving car, or are you going to take it all apart?
No. Right now, I'm just going to get it running and driving and then enjoy it and kind of do a restoration as I drive it. I'm not going to do a full nut and bolt. I'm not going to do all that. I'm just going to do my paint job on it and go from there.
That's awesome. So we could get my car and your car together. They could hang. They would enjoy life. That would be fun.
Yours will actually be better because this is a no for reals, little 318 car. But week before last, I did go pick up a 340. So eventually that would be nice to drop in it. Even though technically it would be more correct to leave the engine in it that's in it. It was a 318, but I can't let you win that easy.
Did you just watch this? I'm about to start throwing parts at it. Until I got the transmission adjusted, like, wow, this thing is so slow. jeez. It's just embarrassing itself, and it's starting to get a little better, but a turd generally is just unacceptable. Can't be. It's not okay.
No.
Now it looks the part. It's got to act the part now.
Yeah, and the thing about this car is, too, it's already almost yellow, so it's going in that direction.
In the pictures, it looks close enough, even. Like, it looks pretty good.
The color that they used was Y5, like blaze yellow or something, which that was another thing I've recently discovered. 73 and 74, the yellows were different. Maybe that's why the 70, the Georgia car, maybe, it looks a little bit more pale, or whatever you'd call it.
Mm-hmm.
The yellow that they used in California is a different yellow. So I don't know if maybe they went with the 71 color, 72 color. I don't know what they did, but definitely 74 had a different shade than the 73s and back. Of course, I've got to go with the correct 74 shade. So
cool, man. What people listening will not know is that you are being attacked by horseflies. Literally.
It will not leave me alone. I have swatted at this thing left and right.
It is after you.
Have you seen it flying around?
Yes. Yeah, it's hard to miss. It looks like a bat.
Yes.
It's pretty big.
Wow.
Okay, I think this is as good a place as anywhere to start wrapping this sucker out. So, yes, if you've been listening,
I gotta kill this thing.
He's going to die, and we don't have a TV show to review for you, and I'm out of Tom Cruise clips. So, here's kind of where I'd like to end out. Nathan Warren and his son Will have a YouTube channel. They filmed almost everything they did on the work on my car. I would encourage you to go subscribe to that channel. You will get to see A to Z how they did it, including how he made the helmets, and he tries to give instruction on how you can do it at home by yourself. It's just really, really well documented stuff. When it comes to how to do interior work, especially if you're trying to dye an interior, I think you'll get a lot out of it. There's adhesion promoter. You got to use that correctly. I can tell you on my car, it looks showroom new because of the way that he did it. So, everybody, thank you. Jeez, did you get him?
I think so.
I don't see ribbons of blood running down anything. So.
Yes. If you think this is great, you should hear the Patreon show, which you can become a subscriber to by going to patreon.com/kfshow/awesome How about that? But you can also get the show on iTunes. Please leave us a rating there. I think that's everything we need to cover this week. Okay.
Let me ask you one thing.
Yeah.
On one of Nathan's pictures, I think it was on Instagram, or maybe it was one of the videos that he posted, he had a teaser of a box that showed up in the mail, and he started to open. He's like, no, I can't show you. Was that the helmet?
Yes, it was.
It was?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sneaky McSneakerson.
He has been getting peppered on how he found the correct blue radiator hoses.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I know how.
You might. He's keeping it secret. He is not spreading the word. Like, he's going to go down with that one until we spill the beans here, of course.
I bet I know. It's not a common trick, but it has been done, maybe, if it's the same thing I'm thinking of, which we won't discuss.
Yes. He's got his sources. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, thank you for listening. Again, if you like a little more of this show, you can get it on Patreon. If you become a new subscriber now, you can get access to every last show that we've ever done, including all the way back to Finnegan's Days. We will get Finnegan on this show maybe next week or the week after that. You guys should get Finnegan on when I'm gone. That's what you should do.
So he hasn't left. He's doing it from the sidelines still. He doesn't trust us. Why should we do this alone? Why?
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. All right, everybody, thank you for listening. I'll see you later. Okay. Good night, y'all.